Hey my friends, so are you wondering if higher education is dead? I mean, you're going to college or university, or maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe you did, maybe you're thinking about your kids, and you're wondering, is it dead? Is it really worth spending the hundreds of thousands to go to higher education? So we're going to talk about that in a second, but first, this. So the real question is this. What are the strategies, techniques, and tools that you need to learn to generate residual income from the e-learning boom that's happening right now? My name is Jean-Serge and welcome to Course Income Secrets. So higher education, it's university, it's colleges, and of course around the world it's different. The United States is probably the most expensive education system there is out there. Other countries, like I'm in Canada, we have a free college, but university we have to pay for it. I'd say it's like half of what it would be in the States, or even less, maybe a quarter. And then there's some other countries out there that it's free. But whether the education is free or not, there's still the question as is it teaching the right things to our young minds, right? And I was listening to Danny Iny. He's the author of several books. And one of his books, I'll have to look up the name. Actually, I put it in the description there. But in that book, he talks about how the education system, has been changing over the years, has been, doubling in price over the last decades, and is becoming super expensive, and how more and more jobs are requiring higher education, and that means more and more people are going through the education system to get those degrees so that they can get those jobs. And because more and more people, they're saying the statistics now is like 20% of everybody that gets a job has a higher education certificate. And, because it's higher, then it dilutes, the value first for businesses, that looking to hire somebody. And it also makes it less valuable, right? So it makes it less important to have that degree, and maybe you have to have a bigger degree, a better degree, going to Harvard versus a community college or things like that, right? Where you spend $400,000 in your education versus $50,000, right? So of course a $400,000 education is supposed to be better than a $50,000, and it'll be better because of the brand, because of all sorts of different things, because those education systems do teach things that maybe the colleges don't, and they have better alumni system. Anyways, all these things, they still have value, but the thing you have to question is whether that is what people are people need, right? The education system, whether it's teaching or a thing or not. And the thing is, one thing that he mentions, and I totally agree with, is that it doesn't matter whether we believe, like as entrepreneurs, right? We know that there's lots of things that are taught in education that our kids need to learn, that we need to learn. And lots of that's not taught because it's all theory and everything else. But that's beside the point, because education will always have a value, because the more and the systems will always produce students that people want to hire if they do it right, and that's going to improve over the years, and the price is going to go up. And the danger is that 20 years ago you could have an education at a university and pay off the loan after 4 or 5 years, right, of working. Today, you basically, if you go to your university, you're basically going to have a student debt almost all your life, right? And they're saying that that's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. So the educators or employers are going to have to pay more. Anyways, it's a mess. It is a mess. And is it dead? It's not dead. Nobody will say that it's dead. What is happening though is that a lot more companies are starting to value self-education. They're starting to value, like for example, he was talking about GE that put in place GE University, which is basically training for their employees, because they needed to learn things that the education system didn't teach them, that had to do with whatever GE thought their employees needed to know, right? So that became what some companies, lots of companies are doing that now. You look at LinkedIn training, you looked at Udemy, you looked at even my portal that I'm putting together. It's going to be, that's what it's all about. It's about putting in place education that's geared towards the employer, geared towards the discipline, geared towards the environment that the person's in, their skills, their tasks that they have to perform, right? So that isn't, you're not going to learn that in a university. They're not going to put together a university course just for, GE employees that do accounting at GE, right? It's too specific. So that's going to separate. I mean, what needs to be taught in universities and colleges, obviously that's not the discussion here, but that's going to have to adapt too. But there is an immense opportunity for anybody who's trying to teach anything or even want to be part of the movement that's happening right now, the e-learning boom that's happening right now, that is just growing. You should want to be part of that, because anybody who's online, who's trying to build a brand, who's trying to do a personal brand, who's trying to do attraction marketing, who's trying to build an audience, and you're gonna be part of that no matter what you do, whether you embrace it or not, whether you take action to make some income from it by taking part in affiliate programs, by selling other people's courses or promoting other people's courses, or by making your own courses. You're gonna either benefit from it or you're just gonna see it go on by, right? So the higher education, is it dead or not? It's not dead, like I said, but it's not healthy, if you will, right now. But because so much of the society believes in it and is writing on it and investments are in there, it's not going to change much for the next 50 years, right? So we got to just let that be, but then on the side we got to build what the industry needs, what the educators need, well, not the educators, but the employers need, what the employers need, what the workers need, the kind of infrastructure that they need to support their employees, and that the employees need to learn the skills to support the employers, right? So those are the things that we're focusing on here at Course Income Secrets and in my brand as well. And that's just what has to happen. All right, so hope you enjoyed this message, and if you think anybody else needs to hear it, of course, go ahead and share. They'd appreciate it, I'm sure, and I will too, and we'll see you in the next video. Have yourself a wonderful day.